My legal name is Malibu Barbie Delish, and if you want to find out why I picked that name and how people have reacted to it over the years, then keep watching. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. If you aren't already aware, I'm transgender, and that is the main reason why I changed my name. However, I will say that when I was a child, even before I realised I was transgender, I really didn't like my dead name, and I had always said that I wanted to change my name. So I think whether I was trans or not, I probably would have changed my name, and it probably would have been something extra. Probably wouldn't have been Malibu Barbie Delish if I wasn't trans. It's hard to imagine that timeline, but I do think I probably would have changed my name regardless. Mostly because I am quite an extra person. I've always wanted a name that suits my personality, that suits the kind of person that I am. I wanted it to be extra. Obviously it's normal for trans girls to change their names, and I could have picked something simple like Linda or Denise or Stacey. I don't know, but I really don't think anything would have suited me. But I remember asking my mum if I could change my name when I was really young, before I even knew I was trans. I wonder if it was like a subconscious thing though that I maybe did know, and maybe I knew that I wanted to change my name for that reason, but that's too much. I'm not going to get into the psychology of my past self from 20 years ago. So yeah, when I turned 18, I changed my name pretty much as soon as I could. And I picked the name Malibu Barbie Delish, obviously. I will quickly just show you my deed poll because I still feel like I have to show this so that people actually believe I'm telling the truth. I'm not going to show you my dead name, but probably going to have to flip the screen, aren't I? So like I said, the reason why I wanted to change it to something a bit extra was to match my personality. You also have to keep in mind that I was an aspiring pop star at the time, and I definitely wanted a name that stood out. I was inspired by people like Lady Gaga. Obviously that's not her real name, but it's the name that everybody knows her by. Yeah, I just wanted something that really stood out like that. I mean, even singers that do use their real name like Madonna, Beyonce, Kesha, Rihanna, they're just names that stand out, aren't they? I didn't want something to be basic. Of course I could have just used a basic name, you know, Adele. It's not a necessity to be a pop star, you have to have an extraordinary name. But like I said, I also felt like that kind of vibe would match my personality anyway. So I guess when I was like 17ish, I started to kind of brainstorm different ideas. Obviously my name is Malibu Barbie Delish. There was definitely a point where I almost went with Delish as my first name. I think I nearly called myself Delish XO, which I don't know, maybe that's a bit too out there. I think Barbie may also have been a suggestion for my first name. But I ended up going with Malibu. Malibu was my favourite drink at the time. I was also really obsessed with like California and Hollywood and stuff. And obviously there's a place called Malibu out there, which I still haven't been to. I would love to go there. And I also obviously was inspired by Malibu Barbie, the original Malibu Barbie. I really liked dressing as a Barbie back then. I still do to an extent. A darker Barbie. I like to be glamorous. But back then I had the bleached hair, I would wear a lot of pink and stuff like that, so Malibu Barbie was very fitting for me. So yeah, obviously I went with Malibu Barbie Delish, and I did put the double I in Barbie because like I say, I wanted it to stand out. I didn't want to just be Malibu Barbie. Honestly, if I was to change my name now, which I won't, I'm not going to ever change my name again, but I probably wouldn't put Barbie in it. I don't really use that in real life anymore, to be honest. I just use it as like my stage name, my online presence, I guess. Most of the time I'm just Malibu or Maz, Mal. Actually, some people do call me Barbs. A lot of people call me MBD. Some people even call me Delish. I love all of them. It's very me, and it's the name that I've gone with for the last 12 years. So yeah, I'm 30 now, so it has been 12 years since I changed my name. And of course I've had some strange reactions to it over the years, some funny reactions, and a lot of people that just don't believe me as well. The first person that ever reacted to it was my mum. I wasn't going to tell my mum. My mum would not have approved. If you've seen my other videos, you might have seen my one where I talk about losing my family. My mum actually is the only person that I'm still in contact with. She does call me Malibu now, but it took a long time for her to come round to my transition and just all that sort of thing. So she really wasn't a fan when she found out I'd changed my name to Malibu Barbie Delish. And like I say, I wasn't going to tell her how she found out. When the deed poll arrived in the mail, she obviously saw it, realised it was something like official. Nosy bitch opened it, saw it, and left it on the kitchen side. Didn't say anything to me, just left it there, and really didn't ever bring it up for years to come. I obviously went downstairs, just saw it left on the side, and was like, oh God, my mum has seen this. Because I knew that she wasn't going to react well to it. She was probably just thinking, what a stupid bitch, what a stupid idiot, why have you done that? I'm sure that's what she was thinking. But the reality is, I don't feel like I made a bad decision, and it's not something that I've ever regretted. I do remember a lot of my friends laughing at me, being like, what, you've really just renamed yourself Malibu Barbie Delish? And I was like, yeah, why the fuck not? I think a few of my friends even may have tried to stop me from doing it. They were like, don't do this. But when I came up with the final name, everyone embraced it. All of my good friends embraced it and started calling me Malibu, of course. It did obviously take a little bit of getting used to. It didn't just come like the next day and everyone just started calling me Malibu. And I feel like that's something that you do have to be a little bit prepared for if you're trans. I'm under no illusion that this is a little bit different and a little bit hard for some people to understand. And I think to expect people to just get it and understand and get everything right straight away is an unrealistic expectation. As long as there's no ill intent behind what people say and what they call you and the pronouns that they use and stuff like that, I think you've got to give them that benefit of the doubt. Of course, if it's people that are actually trying to be rude to you, like dead naming you and misgendering you in person, that's a different story. But you have to remember that people make innocent mistakes, and it's not something that we should hold them accountable for if it really is an innocent mistake. So yeah, people dead named me for a while and it was fine. I wasn't mad about it. I knew I'd changed my name, and slowly but surely people just started using it. Now there's nobody in my life who would dead name me. It's just something that would never happen. So yeah, my friends were really supportive, and everybody who's in my life now is really supportive. Most people that are in my life now call me Maz because my boyfriend calls me Maz. Most people that I know and see these days, I know through him. All his family and friends just call me Maz, which is, it's a little bit weird because I like the name Malibu and I like being called Malibu. Some of my other friends call me Maz and have called me Maz from before that. Obviously it's a nickname that I say. My name is Maz. It's not just come from nowhere. But yeah, I like being called Malibu too. I don't hear much of that these days. I do remember a couple of friends who I'd known throughout my childhood would just continuously dead name me for like years after I changed my name. The first year or two, I probably didn't really say anything. What I would say, don't call me that, call me Malibu. Don't be rude. You know, that's my name now. Like I say, I accepted that it wasn't going to be an overnight thing and some people wouldn't get it straight away. But I did have to confront these friends when it was after 2-3 years. They weren't the kind of people that I saw all the time, but they kept calling me my dead name, and I was just like, you really got to stop doing that. I'm a trans woman, and this at this point is just disrespectful. And I think they said like, hey, but we've known you since before. And I'm like, I've got a whole ton of friends that have known me since before. In fact, all of my friends have known me since I was like roughly 10, 11 years old. And you two are the only ones who still dead name me. So get it together. Otherwise you are not going to be my friends anymore, basically. I don't see those friends anymore. But I think they did start respecting it after that. Phone calls are always fun. When you're on the phone to someone professional, whether it's a doctor or, you know, whoever, and they ask your name, of course I say Malibu Delish or Malibu Barbie Delish. And they're always like, sorry, what? And I'm like, yeah, Malibu. Like the drink, I always say. They're like, oh, Malibu. Most people are then usually like, oh my God, that's such a lovely name. I love it. Sometimes when I have to spell out Malibu Barbie Delish, I do get the response of like, is this a hoax or something? Do you know what I mean? A lot of people don't take it seriously. Over the phone in particular. It's always a fun little icebreaker though. If you can break the ice with your name, what more can you ask for in life, really? I do remember though, when I was younger, people just didn't believe me. I remember I went and spent the summer in Greece and I met a lot of new people out there. And I'd be like, hi, my name's Malibu, whatever. People would respect it. Obviously, they knew I was trans. But I do remember a few of them being like, that's not really your legal name though, is it? And I'd be like, yeah, it is. And I would show them my passport and stuff. I remember a couple of people being like, yeah, I still don't believe you. This is a fake passport. What more do you want from me? It is such an out there name that of course some people are going to question it. But generally the response is really positive, I have to say. Having a name that's different is really fun. I don't think Malibu is actually that out there as a name. Actually, I can see it becoming a more popular name over the next 20, 50 years. But of course, Malibu Barbie Delish is a bit of a mouthful and a bit out there as a whole. But I love it and I'm glad that I picked it, and I wouldn't change it for the world. It's just who I am now and who I'll always be. I do always feel though a little bit like when I'm not blonde, I'm not representing who I am as a person and the name properly. Do you know what I mean? Because it's Malibu Barbie. Malibu Barbie is a blonde. Blonde is my preferred colour. Blonde is definitely the colour that I love on me. but anybody who bleaches their hair will know it's not always the easiest thing to just stay blonde and stay bleaching your hair forever. There's times when I go darker occasionally to give my hair a bit of a break and stuff like that. I always go back to blonde in the end because I do love it the most. Yeah, I do always feel a little bit like when I introduce myself as Malibu Barbie Delish and I'm like a brunette or a ginger, it doesn't quite give the same vibe, does it? Oh, here she is. We couldn't possibly get for a video without you showing up, could we? My bestie, she doesn't care what my name is. I will also say for anybody who's thinking about changing their name, if you're trans or you just want to change your name for the fun of it, it's a very, very easy process. All you have to do is Google deed poll change name. I think it cost me about £33, but that was 12 years ago now. I suspect that has probably risen with inflation. I don't think it would be too expensive. And what's interesting now, if you've seen my last video, I obviously got my gender recognition certificate. I will be able to change my birth certificate, and I don't think I'll even need my deed poll anymore once I've got my birth certificate, so I definitely need to do that soon. But yeah, that's a little story about how I came up with my name and the reactions that I've had over the years. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you're new here, don't forget to click the subscribe button, and I will see you next time, guys. Bye bye.